What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how you feeling? You ready to get some things in order, ready to close some things out? Moon's in Virgo. Be perfect for that. And I really do. I like this combination of we're in Virgo Moon, we have this waning crescent that we're in, so this is a time to like talk about some real hermit energy. The hermit is Virgo in the tarot. So we'll get into that a little bit more here in a moment. But if you're new here, again, welcome. My name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And also, this is a place for you, for those of you who have Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, wherever. This one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based upon our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void. Of course, you thought that she was just right out here right now. The way I was looking. All those lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because, yes, the moon... You know, interestingly enough, I do really love this room that I'm recording in now, because when I do happen to be here in the evenings, sometimes when we have like a cloud or a clear enough sky, I can't see the moon will be, well, granted there's this tree here, but the moon will be kind of peeking through the trees here. Is actually fantastic. But let's get down to business, because depending on when you're watching this, happy Saturn Day. Let me stop mourning. But Saturn is associated with Saturn, and of course with Saturn, with Saturday. And I'm gonna shuffle your cards while I'm talking about this. But I find that Saturn days are a great time for getting things in order. This is a great time for looking at where we may have been kind of putting aside our responsibilities. Maybe we had some bills to get taken care of. Maybe there's some work around the yard that's needed to be done. Maybe you need to tend to the household. Whatever this is looking like, this actually would be a great day too. Maybe to get together with some elders possibly, or someone you consider wise, get some advice about whatever aspect of life you may be getting to, or just being around that experienced energy could possibly bring some inspiration to you. So something to play around with. And one thing I like to think about too when we get into these days, and even sometimes in the hours, is what is your relationship with Saturn? How is Saturn placed in your chart? And know that depending on if you have like what sect your chart is, like a night chart compared to a day chart, know that Saturn works differently. In the day chart, Saturn's your bud. He'll still put you to work, but he does so in a friendly way. Whereas in the night chart, Saturn, he puts you to work. he's all business in a night chart. So, let me get your stuff here. Thanks, Spirit. We get a couple cards today. But yeah, just something to check to see, where Saturn is by house, by sign, and what aspects are forming with Saturn. Could be just some great info to get better so that you can work with him more constructively. So he's not working on you. Now, depending on when you're watching this, the moon is going to be entering into Virgo on the 26th of October, and this is going to happen at about 8:47 a.m., and that'll be Pacific time. And she's entering into that waning crescent phase, or the balsamic moon. And the balsamic moon generally is not a great time for beginning anything new. This is a great time for closing things out, for wrapping up any unfinished business, for a great time for just like personal reflection, to go within. This is where the moon, she's smiling at you. But this is a different kind of smile. I feel like she's smiling because now she's releasing some things. She's making space for this next chapter in the lunar cycle that she's getting ready to go into, as she's getting ready to move from end this lunar cycle in Libra and getting ready to start up a new one in Scorpio. So, and I feel like especially when we talk about with Virgo too, Virgo is the mutable earth sign. The ruler is Mercury, the communication brilliant Mercury. And Virgo their element is the earth sign. So they work very well in the physical realm. And their modality is mutable. So they're very adaptable, very intelligent energy when we're talking about with Virgo. There's a sign that can solve the problems that presented with something. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll figure this out. So this could be where you may be looking at kind of reflecting. Maybe you've been trying to do a certain routine, and in order to do that, maybe you need to realize that you had to cut out some things. Maybe you need a little less screen time, in order to get some sleep. This is just kind of analyze. It's not necessarily being critical, as I feel like Virgo can typically get that sort of association. This is a really practical energy, I feel, when the moon is here. In order to build, we have to see what we need to get rid of. And even thinking about how Virgo kind of operates in the body, if you've ever looked into like medical astrology, and this isn't medical advice or anything, but Virgo is that, again, that act of discernment as far as, all right, I've received this thing. This is the great stuff. I can work with this stuff here, and I'm going to send the rest of that to Scorpio to get rid of. So, yeah, really kind of pay attention to that during this period of time. And if you are wanting to work more personally with the moon, maybe you want to get a lunar return chart, or you want to sign up for the new moon in Scorpio group that I host, or the new moon cycle group that I host each month, definitely check that down in the description box below. That's available for you. And also all the other services that I provide are also down there as well. But I think that's all I got for you there. So let's go ahead and wait, where am I switching to? Let's switch over. And then last couple of things here. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then before we get into this thing, I'm going to ring this bell to bring some nice vibes in here. So adjust your volume if you need to. But let's go ahead and give this a ring, and then let's get into it. All right. All right, let's get into this thing. Oh, look at this. This is sidebar. There's this I guess he's an astrologer. He's an IT person too. He has this really great astrology app, Time Nomad. So that's something that definitely have a link down there, or I don't know if I have a link, but I have a list of apps that I like using. And he just he writes these poems weekly, and there was actually he had to deal with the peacocks. I love that this showed up. But this is you have the peacock spirit here, which is a card of let it shine for your general energy. And you also have the butterfly spirit card here, which is a card of transformation is beautiful. And I really enjoyed that. I just got like a visual of like the Queen of Swords here, because there's like, I'm thinking of the Rider White, how she has, I'm even getting like the King of Swords too. I'm getting like a couple of decks that I'm visualizing that has these butterfly imagery on there that signifies this energy of transformation. I'm getting like there may be this insight that's coming in that it's like, hey, now is the time. Now is the, like, this thing that maybe you've been fearing. It's something that this transformation is needing to be embraced. I'm even getting like a death card energy coming through this as well. I'm getting flashes from this other deck that I like working with, the Astro Matrix deck, the King of Swords from that one, and the death card. Callie's like dancing. She's doing a lot in that one. But this feels like this is a time where the 11 here is the Justice card. And it's like you've been putting in this work, and now it's time for that brilliance to come through, for you to fan your tail feathers out and be confident in this transformation, to not let what other people think about how you may have gone through this. Maybe you've been going through a detox and people have been looking at you like a day. Oh, you used to be so much fun. What happened? You've grown, and that doesn't change how much fun you've had. You're even about to be even more fun because there's some new gifts that's getting ready to come through here. But whatever ways that you are transforming, maybe you're deciding to remove yourself from certain situations. Maybe you're not getting wrapped up in any sort of drama. Maybe you've decided that you're changing up your eating habits. Maybe this is a workout thing. This is a home thing, personal thing. But I do feel like when you are doing things that are raising your vibration, that are leading you towards this ascension. I'm seeing how this peacock here has this light coming out of its throat. I feel like there's this affirming yourself through this process. It may not feel at first maybe like this has been a very elegant, or maybe that might be what this peacock's about. It's like maybe you haven't been feeling very elegant in the process, but know that every step of the transformation is a beautiful one because it's leading to this unveiling of this butterfly. Look at this light that's shining down here. And just like, and I even feel like these little butterflies is the aura that you're giving off. And these butterflies are going to land on other people and affect them in positive ways as well. I'm even getting this story. I have this big water bottle here. Hold on, I'll show you. And that's only a little bit of it. This big boy, and I bring that around where I was working, and I had noticed where a lot of people were saying like, man, you know what? I need to start hydrating like that. I need to get my hydro flask and get one of those things. So it's like those little changes that you may think that aren't having the effect, they're having more of a ripple effect than you realize. But let's get some tarot and get some details with this. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, there's that King of Swords. Let's go, bro. So you have the Hanged Man, which is water energy here. You have the Knight of Swords, which is the King of Swords in this deck. The Six of Swords and the Prince of Cups, or excuse me, the Princess of Cups here. Now this Hanged Man to the Six of Swords energy. I feel that this Six of Swords, you see, like there's this is a card of science here, just like a focus that's happening here. You're moving on to a different horizon here. I feel like this time of, it's either you're getting ready to, you've embarked on this thing, and now it's almost like with the Knight of Swords is really kind of like full steam ahead here. We're like right at the finish line. This isn't the time to slow down. Or to really doubt the process. This is like you're closer to this metamorphosis than you think, or at least I feel like a big chapter of it. But this Hanged Man. So the symbol down here, it has the water symbol, and it's going through the elements, the sequence of water, the Chariot, the Death card, and the Moon card here. And there's just something with the Princess of Cups here that you've given a lot to this transformation, and maybe there's been this sort of situation, or maybe some sort of thing that's making you want to maybe just, it's like a reconsideration that's happening. I think I might need to get a little bit more on this Hanged Man here to get some clarity. Let me get a little bit more on the Hanged Man. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so the Hanged Man is clarified by the Three of Wands and the Five of Swords here. And this Five of Swords is giving me, it's like you've been doing this work, and it still feels like maybe there are this assault here that's happening. And it feels like a 4-on-1 type of battle. And it's like we're journeying towards the moon, but it's just like the path doesn't seem like it's ending. But I feel where the sky is meeting the earth that's where the finish line is, and it's keeping that focus. That if not even just if, when you keep on this path, more things, it's like more realizations start opening up for you. and that this whole thing is going to make sense. But the Hanged Man is feeling more internal right now, feeling more, I feel like maybe you've been in a more subjective type of space, and maybe we need to kind of look outside of yourself to see how far you've come, that even in the face of these other swords here and other various challenges, that you've kept on the path. And the path, I feel, is going to keep winding, but it's not that there's just more challenges that are being put out for you. It's because you want more. The more that you grow and the brighter that you start to shine, how could you not want to shine brighter? It's like, oh, I can continue this ascension. There's more that I can give towards this growth, towards it. It's not necessarily even just like this Princess of Swords, just like giving of herself for others. This is giving to you. And letting the things that you've learned about yourself continue that action, because the Knight of Swords is knowledge in action, that which is wisdom. And this is a beautiful process that you're going through. And I feel like that's something to this butterfly spirit. It may sometimes feel that, I'd have to look up to see what the lifespan of a butterfly is. And maybe it can feel like, maybe you feel like the things are like oh, that's interesting. I'm even getting like maybe it feels like the process has just kind of come in these bursts, and there's been this kind of like lull in between here. But I feel like don't forget the beauty. It's like you're starting, I'm getting the picture of like starting like trying to get like a spark, but you're doing it with like wet stones, and eventually they're going to dry, and the sparks are going to get a bit brighter, they're going to get a bit longer until that, and then we got a flame that's really, really kind of burning here. And I'm just even getting like the Three of Wands. This is the Sun in Aries, and the Sun is celebrated in Aries. It's where the Sun finds its exaltation. And I feel you're going to be really proud of how far you've come. And if this is not where you've been in this subjective space, maybe you've been going and going and going for a while. And maybe there's been not as much external things that have transformed, but a lot more internal things that transform, that maybe you would have been the type that, let's say, you would engage these other swords and just maybe deviate from your path, but now you find it easier to, like, instead of being on guard, now you're just like, nope, I got a path to do and I don't have time to waste here. Or sure, I do, I have plenty of time I could waste all the time here, but you're choosing not to. You're using your time more effectively here to let yourself shine, is what I'm getting with this. Let's get some more on this. Oh, look at that. Now you're shining bright. Three of Wands didn't go far. Got 3 wands here. I love that. Thanks, Spirit. And we're happy. We're healthy. Look at this. So like I said, the 3 of Wands here. And then you have the Eon card, which is the Judgment card. The 9 of Cups. And the Prince of Swords here. And I love this 9 of Swords. It's like, look at your cups overflowing. This is the wish that you've been wanting to. You've been wanting to go down this glorious path. You wanted more for yourself. And now we're getting to this place of closure. It's keeping there's that fire, because the Eon card's got the fire symbol on it. So we're getting like this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy that's coming through. That's the Emperor, the Strength card, and the Temperance card. And so now it's you standing in your authority, maintaining that strength, and keeping that balance, because you're after the Eon card is the World card, where we get to completion, where everything is grounded. But I'm getting here with the Prince of Swords, that there's a focus that's needing to be had. The princes in this deck represent air, and the swords, of course, represent air. So he's just very airy, very intelligent. But air can be tough to ground, of course. And it's not something that I feel you can really keep bottled up. It's like, how do you keep the air fluid? Because this is Aquarius energy for me. And it's like, how do you keep the focus, and then keep building on this happiness, like really grounding the thoughts that are in your head, this long-term plan. And like when I'm saying like even grounding, this doesn't even necessarily mean like you're creating like a business, a creative project. This is just you working on you. And there's growth in that. When you decide to get more sleep, that's you're grounding in yourself. You're getting more attached to this body and nurturing this thing. When you decide to engage in more healthy relationships, relationships that elevate you, that's something that's working on this body. It doesn't always have to be, looking for things outside of yourself to get this sense of validation. It's just like, how are you feeling right now? And in your itself, in your environment. And I mean, and again, just in this body, because where you start as within, so without. So you build this internal happiness here and keep that frequency. And I know it takes work. Like I was saying with the Prince of Swords, there's a lot of stimuli that are out here that may be trying to affect this light, that may be trying to dim your shine. But it's something that no one or nothing can keep you from, I feel like, continuing to shine bright. And I say that knowing that there can be, of course, there are external things that are happening. I talk about that. I have, my son's in the 12th house, and all that 12th house rules my loaded first house, and all that stuff's opposed by Saturn. And so I don't say these things lightly, but I do say these things that the process where when you get back centered, you see the bigger picture here, and you continue to answer the call. I feel with the eon, you're coming into this new eon here, something new. Essentially, I just got an energy of just like something new is birthing here. There's a new kind of like primordial fire that's happening here. Let me get a little bit more with the eon card. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so the Eon card is clarified by the Five of Wands. And so there's another challenge. The fives can be challenges in the tarot. And now this is like a challenge with this energy. This Five of Wands is giving me, I'm looking at like the tally marks that are on this hand. And it's like there are gonna be times where it feels like you're trying something, doing it again and again and again. But each time you do it, that's you gaining experience. And this transformation, this quest towards this happiness may not be one that's necessarily easy, but life is a mixed bag. I was actually listening to this podcast where when you even look at like charts, nothing is really all that necessarily quote unquote bad or good. It's usually a balance. When you really look, there's a lot of nuance that comes into it when we when we gain that perspective. And maybe that's why I feel like this Prince of Swords here is kind of roping in this perspective, is trying to hold multiple things as true. That something can be difficult, but it can also be very encouraging because you're seeing these results. And then there's a time where you just don't want to care about either of these things, and just but it's giving me this like allowing more space for, again, for like multiple things to be true, and yeah, and putting in that just continuing that effort. Let's get some advice from Mercury. Ha! I love that. That's great advice. Thank you, Mercury. So yeah, Mercury here, which is the Magus card here, or the Magician. And let's switch back over. I love when they do that. So with the Magician card, I'm getting like you have these gifts, you have these skills. And I feel that I'm partway getting this energy of trying not to get, kind of going back with this to the Prince of Swords too, to not let this just get in your head. And I almost feel like this, I'm almost getting this thing too with how there's this, granted, usually in the Magician, they have all the tools that they need, the cups, the swords, the wands, the pentacles to manifest, to make his dreams manifest. But there's a lot of things on this Magician card here. And I'm getting this, are we being intentional with how we're creating? That if the transformation process, if what has been revealed to you, and it's this, maybe this let it shine is giving me this, if what the light is revealing, not what you've intended, what has been interfering with your with that, what has been, it's like, when you're going to cook something, I'm just getting how the Magician would like work in maybe like in like a lab or something like that. And it's like you had this intention and you put all these things together, and then there's like this kind of explosion, and you're just like, I totally meant for that to be a butterfly, but yet there are all these frogs all over here. I know this is a wild analogy, but that's what I'm getting here. Like there's this, and not to let whatever has been revealed to you maybe be looked at as a failure. That is part of the transformation process. All these frogs, it's to show that you have the capacity to create things, but now it's just like, okay, maybe there's a different focus. Maybe this thing that I thought would make me happy wasn't quite what it didn't real, or it's just like something is just like being revealed, something that you wouldn't know unless you had put in the time to try to figure this thing out. And then to not let it defeat you, but to let it be just like a learning process, and to even let those mistakes shine. Because if we ignore, like, it's like something here about it's like if we ignore what went wrong, or just like totally reject something, then you may miss. That's an interesting message. Let me get a little bit more with that. It's like you may miss. Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. So maybe I'm thinking too much about it. The Magician card is clarified by the Magician. So, you know what? And with double Magician energy, that's a lot of potent creativity. And I feel that I'm looking at these magicians' hands, and I just feel like there's this question here of like, who's had a hand in your transformation? And maybe even looking at a situation where it may have not gone as you thought it would have, but in that quote unquote failure, there's a new just a piece that was missing, and now you're like, oh, if I just remove this out and add this thing, then this will happen, and it'll get you way further along than you thought. It will bring something to a close. So that's fascinating. Yeah, when you got majors clarifying majors like that. And I'm getting one more thing, that if you have been working on something, working on a transformation, maybe you've been feeling a little either embarrassed or nervous how maybe other people might respond to it, or something along those lines, that let it shine. Be in your craft, magician. I'm gonna leave that there. That's, yeah, something to meditate on. And if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know someone who could get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe, you magician, you magical force. Hit that bell button, get notified when I release videos each day. And then last little bit, if you want to know what's going on outside of the lunar shenanigans, see what the sun and the rest of the planets are doing, come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I have a link for it down in the description box below. And one of the things I do on there is I talk about the weekly transits that are going on, and how we can set intentions with those energies. And also, too, I have videos that I release about different planets and different signs and different houses. I actually got the moon here. Moon in Aries. I'll be talking about that one here soon. But, yeah, all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card of cards here, so I can get you out of here. Thanks, Spirit. That's dope. A lot of transformation here. You got the Rebirth card. And this is a card of metamorphosis and new beginnings. So you're coming, like I said, that Eon card is like you're coming up on the end of a, and this is perfect for this waning crescent phase. We're coming up on the end of something, and how have you transformed? How have you felt that you've become during this lunar cycle was set off by an eclipse. So what were some things that came up for you? What are some new beginnings that you're wanting to start? In what ways are you ready to metamorphose? Is that a word? I'll have to look that up. But let it shine. I feel like I'm even getting drawn to that moon, this full, that maybe something even came to a close during that Pisces eclipse. And now there's something like, maybe even look back to what was going on around that time, because I feel like maybe even there's a piece there that may be missing, or that may be not even missing, but may just want to be found, so that it can help complete, or just add another ingredient for the magician to work with here. But you're growing into something, you're a force, Cancer, magical force. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So take that and run with it. But until next time, keep the eyes on that moon and keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Moon Day.